Yo, what's good, y'all? Thanks for joining us for another episode of The Real Mikey D History. That's history as in his story. You know what I'm saying? The show is unscripted. You know what I mean? I'm not reading off of a questionnaire or none of that. We freestyling this, you know what I'm saying? So on today's episode, what I'd like to do is reminisce about, you know, one of the first brothers to inspire me to pick up a pen and a microphone and start doing this thing we call hip hop. You know, as you heard in a prior episode, my man D Money, you know, he was the brother that basically introduced me to hearing hip hop because he came from Harlem, you know, and his grandmother lived next door to my grandmother, where I grew up in Laurelton. And one summer he came and he had this cassette tape and the big radio, and we sitting on the steps and he's playing this music, and you know, it was brand new to my ear, and I fell in love with it, you know, and it later became hip hop. And the people that we were listening to on that tape was the Cold Crush and Kool D versus Busy B. Now, the Cold Crush 4, they were all dope. There was JDL, Easy AD, Almighty KG. They had two DJs, which was Tony Tone and Charlie Chase. And then they had one dude that was called the Captain of the Four, man. And this is the dude, lyrically, he was so ahead of his time and so dope that he was one of them that inspired me to pick up the pen. None other than the Grandmaster Caz. Now this brother, you know, I'm listening to the tape, and I remember he spit this rhyme about Yvette. You know what I mean? And it was like, the rhyme was it was put together so well, you can actually see what he was talking about, and it was so dope. I never heard anything like it before. And then there was a heckler in the audience. Oh, yo, boo, or whatever. And Caz went in on the heckler. Now, with Kool D and Busy B, that was like, Kool D went at another rapper, so that's the first time I got a taste of battle rap. But Caz went at an actual person in the audience, and it was crazy. And this is my introduction to hip hop. So after me hearing this tape and just going crazy off of it, I went next door and, you know, I wrote my first rhyme. Again, the name of that rhyme was Kim, and what I did was, Caz's rhyme about Yvette inspired the rhyme about Kim, and that was my first rhyme. And my Nana was the first person to hear that rhyme, and she gave me the stamp of approval, you know what I mean? And that sent me on my way. So Grandmaster Caz is one of the greatest rappers of all time to me. He's definitely one of my top 5. I don't base my top 5 on, you know, accomplishments and how much money they got. My top 5 is based on the inspiration and the motivation that they gave me. You know what I'm saying? And my top 5 is definitely Grandmaster Caz, Kool D, Eddie OJ, Will Seville, and LL Cool J. And if I could give a 6th person, it would be MC Lotto. And y'all will be hearing from Lotto in an upcoming episode. But a lot of people don't understand either. What they don't know is, one of the first rap records to come out, there's always been a controversy between Rapper's Delight or Fat Back Band, King Tim III. So anyway, Sugar Hill Gang, the most successful, what people would consider the first rap record in the history of hip hop. Grandmaster Caz's verses was on that song, and people don't know that. Big Bang Hank, the rhymes that he was saying, I'm the CAS, you know, the Casanova Fly, that was Grandmaster Caz's name. You know what I'm saying? So the rhyme that Big Bang Hank was spitting on Rapper's Delight was Grandmaster Caz's. So technically, Grandmaster Caz goes down in the hip hop's Hall of Fame for that, you know. But to make a long story short, man, I just want to give Grandmaster Caz his flowers while he's still here. And like, you know, my show is based on not just me, but shedding the light on those who inspired me. So right about now, we're gonna check out Grandmaster Caz, see what he's up to now, and get a history lesson from the grandest of them all, even your mama, for my man, my idol, one of my greatest inspirations, the legendary Grandmaster Caz. Let's go. Hey yo, ladies and gentlemen, I now introduce to you the grandest of them all, even your mama fall for, the person that inspired me to pick up the pen, you know what I mean? The Grandmaster Caz. Welcome to him to the show, everybody.
All right, that was love.
Yo,
love.
What's good, Caz?
It's all good, man. It's all good, man. Thanks for having me on the show, Mike. I appreciate you, baby.
Man, thank you for accepting the invitation, man. Like I was telling everybody at the beginning of the show, and I've been telling people for the past damn near 40 years, my story has been consistent. It never changed. When my boy D-Money let me hear that tape of you rapping on it, listen, I know the two rhymes that you said, I'm just going to kick a little bit. One of them was, it was a long time ago and I'ma never forget. I got caught in the bed with the girl named Yvette. That one, and the other one was, each and every time we put the music low, we turned it down for a second to make you say, oh, that one. You know what I mean? Yo, those two right there on top of Kumo D battling Busy B, that inspired me to pick up the pen, go next door, and start my journey. I just want to thank you for that, man.
Wow,
I want to give you your flowers while you're here, because without Grandmaster Caz, there would be no me. And believe me, I influenced a lot of cats in Queens, so all of that influence comes from you, man. And I just want to salute you, bro.
Love is love. Love is love. I appreciate you, Mike. And not as many people have picked up the ball and ran with it as successfully as you have, you know what I mean? So I appreciate that. Any and everybody who's been inspired by hip-hop in the early days, or by me specifically, you know what I mean? Right. I look for greatness in them, you know what I mean? Take whatever you learned or whatever I inspired you to do and keep it moving, you know what I mean? Add on to the culture. So,
yo, that's a fact, man.
That's what's up.
So as the people know, like, this show isn't just about my history. It's about the people who are part of my history. And you obviously are a major part of my history. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to flip it. And we're going to get to know Grandmaster Caz better, because throughout the years, you know, my story, like I said, has been consistent. And I always speak of you first, then it's the clientele, brothers. And people need to know the face now, and they need to know the Grandmaster Caz story. So the first question I want to ask you is, Caz, you inspired me. Who or what inspired you? Because you was there at the beginning, man, and I'm just curious to know what inspired you and who inspired you to do this hip-hop thing.
Where is he?
Well, I've been a part of this culture since its inception.
Right.
You know, I've covered every element in hip-hop, from graffiti to breaking to DJing to MCing. And at the beginning, all these elements were in play, but there was no demigods or anything like that yet. You know what I mean? There was no, you know, nobody was etched in stone, but there were elders.
Right.
And hip hop was passed on down to us by the culture that preceded us. And that was, you know, disco music and the disco DJs. So the DJs of that era, their influence spilled over into the, you know, the park jam DJs, the youth movement. And so inadvertently, that inspired me. I got my hip hop from Kool Herc directly. I mean, I lived on the next block. I lived on Phelan Place, and Phelan Place, the next block up from Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx.
Right.
So, I got my hip hop directly from the source. Not that there weren't any other sources, but we know historically Kool Herc is the biggest name as far as, you know, starting hip hop and things like that. So I grew up right under him. So as a b-boy, I was a fan of the music.
Right.
And I had a collection of music that, you know what I mean, I used to dance to the records that I had in my house. And then when I got out to block parties, I started saying, yo, I got that jam. I got that jam. So that's what led me, eventually to the DJ side of it. And once that was my goal, then Kool Herc was my biggest inspiration. I wanted to be as big as Kool Herc. I wanted to be as popular as Kool Herc. I wanted to be, I wanted to be able to command, like, he just had that kind of respect, not only in my neighborhood, but in the hip hop community. So he was the first person that I could say, okay, yeah, I want to be like Kool Herc.
That's dope. And how did you adopt the name Grandmaster Caz?
Well, Caz is short for Casanova.
Right.
All right. And Casanova was my original name. First as a B-boy. I got the name from a group of B-boys from around my way. It was the Casanova crew. Everybody was Casanova something. Casanova this, Casanova that, Casanova this. I thought that shit was so dope. I picked the name Casanova Fly. So I kept that as a B-boy. When I turned DJ, I was DJ Casanova Fly. But now I was on a different level. I was in a different realm. And my mic just went down. Did you hear that?
Nah, I didn't.
Can you still hear me clear?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
Oh, okay. So what happened was, as a DJ, I was in a different realm. I was around DJs now. So Grandmaster Flash had a security crew called the Casanovas. Okay, and the Casanovas wasn't B-boys. All right? Them niggas, gang members, thugs, you know what I mean? They was pretty much security, you know what I mean? So, and the things that they were doing, in the hood, and I just couldn't, I didn't want to get caught up in that. Me being Casanova Fly, it sounded like I was part of the Casanovas. You know what I mean? And even the leader of the Casanovas, Tiny, approached me one night at a party. He was like, yo, you Casanova Fly? I was like, yeah. He was like, yo, you might want to do something about that name, man. I was like, yeah, Tiny, y'all is, y'all do what y'all do, and I'm a DJ. You know what I mean? He was like, yeah, but people in the street don't know that. You know what I mean? People in the street don't know that, and they might get it twisted. So you might want to do something about that name. That's what I got. You know what I mean? I was like, you know what? You probably right, because I ain't built to deal with niggas coming after me and shit like that, and ruining my parties and all that shit over a name. You know what I mean? So boom, I shortened my name from Casanova to Caz, and that's how I became Grandmaster Caz. Now, Grandmaster is not my name; it's a title. Yes. And I got the title, at a party, DJ, and I started going off so fast that people, my man started going, Grandmaster, because Grandmaster Flash was the fastest DJ in hip hop at the time. So it's like I achieved a certain, height. So it was like, yo, Grandmaster. So I just kept the name Grandmaster after that. So that's how Grandmaster Casanova Fly, and then eventually Grandmaster Caz came about.
Dope. Now, when you mentioned Tiny, you're not mentioning brown skin Tiny, bow-legged, that used to be with Arthur Armstrong?
Tiny, bald-headed Tiny.
Oh,
who's the head of the Casanovas.
Yeah, wow. Small world, man. Small world.
Yeah,
all right.
Facts, man. Facts.
That's crazy. All right. So you were also known as the captain of the four. Cold Crush.
Once I got down with the Cold Crush, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was recruited.
Okay, all right.
By Charlie Chase and Tony Tone to be the captain of the Cold Crush 4 to make the MCs, competitive, to make our group competitive with the groups that were out at the time. I finally didn't have to bring equipment out to parties anymore. It was just me and JDL doing parties. We was on damn near every flyer back then as the Notorious 2.
Right.
And Africa Islam and the Funk Machine was trying to recruit me. I was still doing Casanova Fly parties, Notorious 2 parties, and then, the Cold Crush tried to get me. And I was like, I tried to maintain, some kind of independence at the time. I never got down with nobody. Everybody always got down with me. You know what I mean? So me getting down with somebody was like, yo, I'm that myself, my nigga. You know what I mean? I got equipment. You know what I mean? I didn't have it like they had it, but you know what I mean. But I finally acquiesced. I was like, you know what? I can just totally concentrate on MCing now.
Yeah,
I can just totally concentrate on putting a group together, a group that can, you know what I mean, that can spread me out into 4 people. That was my mindset at the time. So I was like, yo, I'm with it. You put JDL down and I'm down. Niggas like, wait, hold up. I don't know about him. Because you know JDL.
JDL was
JDL
wild boy, my man. Yeah, that's my man. I love him. I love him. Yep.
Straight shooter. You know what I mean? And basically, he lived the way he wants to. But once they saw that I wasn't budging until they put him down, they was like, all right, fuck it, he down. And then that's the Cold Crush that the world knows. You know what I mean? Because there was a few different versions of the Cold Crush brothers before us four got together.
Okay, you know? Okay.
Whippin' Dot was down with the Cold Crush for a while.
Okay, all right.
Prior, once they left my early crew, the Mighty Force, they went to Charlie Chasing them, and they rocked there for a while. Then they got down with the Fantastic Five.
Oh, okay, all right. That's crazy.
The Cold Crush that the world knows is me, JDL, AD, and KG.
That's it. That's right. And so listening to the Cold Crush, I used to always love. Y'all used to do a lot of battling, like the other groups. But prior to battling the other groups, did you ever do like one-on-ones with anybody that we don't know about? Because your lyrics are just, man, listen, I don't know who could have dealt with you back then. You know what I'm saying? But I was always curious, like, Caz, did he battle anybody one-on-one? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I do not remember having a battle, a one-on-one battle, me against somebody.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't tell you. And to be honest with you, I think I know why. Because I established a long time ago my dominance and my prominence at this shit. You know what I mean? Right. So even if you never heard me or saw me, you heard about me, nigga. So you ain't gonna come at me sideways.
Mm-hmm.
And I really haven't had anybody do that from back in the days. I don't remember having any personal battles against nobody. I remember niggas saying, yo, I'll battle. Yeah, all right, nigga, get the fuck out of here. You ain't, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. But really, I can't remember having a one-on-one battle with somebody, especially anybody that anybody would know or remember, because I don't remember. You know what I mean?
Right. So
now, MC competitions, that was different. Once they start doing the battles and, the solos and the groups, I entered a few of those, as a solo, but just battling somebody one-on-one.
Right.
I never had to. And niggas knew better, I think. I would like to think that. Niggas just knew better.
Yeah, I think so, man. I believe that. Definitely, man, because trust me, I was running around Queens once I found myself, and I was just battling everybody, but there would never be a time where I would try to come to the Bronx and battle Caz. Nah, that ain't happening, because You
never know. You might have got me, nigga. You never know. A lot of times people be like, nah, I ain't gonna fuck with him. But you catch anybody on the right day, you know what I mean, with the right shit, and you might could get him. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's a respect. It's a respect thing. When it's somebody that you respect, you know what I mean? It's somebody that you admire. It's like you get this shit. Like I could never try to battle him.
I'm coming
in.
Right.
Melly Mel is somebody like that. Melly Mel for me is somebody I would never want to battle him.
Right.
Why would I want to battle him? He's the only other person that I think, you know what I mean, that I put, you know what I mean, in front of me as far as achievement, accomplishment, you know what I mean, and a lot of other things in this thing. People, make their own judgments, but from me, you know what I mean, that's somebody that I would never intentionally, I want to battle Melly Mel. Got too much respect for him. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. I could dig a salute to Melly Mel, Grandmaster, the legend. And as far as like the groups back then, because you had the Furious Five, you had the Fantastic Five, you had, Fearless Four, Cold Crush. Like what was that? Treacherous 3, and you had the ladies. I mean, what was that like? Were y'all competitive or were y'all like a conglomerate, like all together?
I would like to be able to say that we were a conglomerate, because if we were, we'd have a much more stronger hold or claim to this culture. I think had we gotten together like a conglomerate early, you know what I mean, we would have been a powerhouse. But basically everybody was for self. It was every man for themselves, every group for themselves, man. Niggas was out here, trying to get trying to achieve like some ghetto stardom. You know what I mean? And it was a battle. It was a battle for prominence. You know what I mean? Who's the best? Who, you know, who does this the best? Who got the most this? Who, you know what I mean? So that was important to us and for us. So those days are when you establish yourself in this culture. You know what I mean? And that's where you got your name and got your bones and shit by battling the other relevant crews out here.
And y'all was doing it for real. Like it was like the Temptations against the Four Tops.
You know what? We had we you know what I mean? People remember the last thing that they saw or the last thing that was good to them. You know what I mean? But I'm in all. I have never fronted like, yeah, we was the best out of you know, dopest group and this and that, and we did this and we did that. Yo, we fucked up. We lost battles. We did this and that. We, you know what I mean? But we stuck around and we remained in the fabric of hip hop, and we did it over and practiced and rehearsed until we got it right. And then we made a name for ourselves amongst the best groups. Yeah, I mean, because we was inspired by the Furious Five. They was the best hip hop group out, and maybe ever. You know what I mean? From that era, when they start making records,
you know
what I mean.
Another level,
that was another level. You know what I mean? But as far as the streets are concerned, and what we aspire to be as a hip hop group, the Furious Five was a template for that. You know what I mean? And then of course, you had the Fantastic Five pulling up, you know, right behind them, because the Funky Four, along with the Furious Five, got signed to record deals early and went on tour. And they left the scene, you know what I mean, the New York hip hop scene, and that was left up to us, you know what I mean, the Fantastic Five, the Cold Crush Brothers, the Jazzy Five, the Treacherous Three, the Fearless Four, all those groups from that day and that era, Master Don, the Def Committee, Busy B, you know what I mean, who was like solo MC back in the days.
That's right. Man, that's crazy. Matter of fact, here's another, not to skip the subject, but I was driving to work one day last week, and I was listening to Rock the Bells, listening to That's the Joint with you and Shao Rock. Salute to y'all on that one, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
And I heard you mention somebody that we have a mutual acquaintance with. Arthur Armstrong was my manager.
Army, Big Swami Army. Arthur Armstrong used to run the Ecstasy Garage. He used to own the Ecstasy Garage back in the days, and that was one of the early hip-hop venues that we used to play in. And Armstrong became a promoter and started taking us around the tri-state area, and as well, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. We hit all the skating rinks, all that. I mean, we was in every town in the tri-state area. So that was after that time that, you know, he was managing you, right?
Wow, yeah. This actually it was before that time, because he used to always brag about y'all, and he, like when he first met me, he asked me, you know, what got me into hip hop, and I always said you know, hearing you, this, that, and other. He said,
I remember him talking about you. I remember him talking about you back in the day. Yeah, Macka D.
Macka, there it is, Macka
D. I got Macka D, but I gotta pay fees for the flyers.
Yeah, Armstrong, I'm trying to get him on the show, man, but he's a little shy. He said he could never get an interview right. I told him we just gonna have some fun with it. Yeah, shout out to Arthur Armstrong, man.
Armstrong was like a pillar, one of the pillars of this shit back in the day. He kept us out there, kept us on the road, kept us, you know what I mean, working, and he was an important figure in hip hop back in the early days. Matter of fact, he put our first record out. You know, created a label, Elite Records, just to put out our music. So
Elite, that's
salute
dope.
to Arthur Armstrong.
Arthur
Armstrong. He's still in the Bronx, over there in that spot. He's still there, man. I gotta go see him too.
He still got the same house number. He finally got a cell phone, but he still has the same house number.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Salute to Swami Army. That's what my man JDL used to call him.
Oh man, yeah, that's crazy. I got a question for you. Now, hip hop, you know, everything evolves and this, that, and the other. And there's a lot of people that don't like what they're hearing in hip hop. And, you know, they try to say that the younger guys is messing it up. I don't really look at it like that. I just look at it as they just doing what they do. And there's like there's a difference between hip hoppers that do it from the heart, and then you got the rappers that just do it from the pocket. Like, I'm one of them dudes. I don't care if I get a dime. I'm not gonna turn down the check, but I do this from the heart. You know what I mean? So
you got a job, nigga. You got a good job.
Yo, but you know what's crazy?
You can be like, you know what? I'm good. Nigga.
Nah, but
I get that paper right, then come back and holler at me. Right?
Yeah, but I turn it off and on, man. When I'm at work, I'm Michael Deering, man. When I get out of work and I get into that booth, that microphone, that studio booth, that's like my telephone booth. I put the S on my chest, throw the cake on, and then I'm Mikey D. But you know, when as I got older, I had to make the right choices, you know, and like I was the type of person that, like I said, I didn't care about the money. It's just I did it for the love. I loved it so, and I still love it so much. You know what I mean? That I don't mind just showing up and doing it for whoever. But how do you feel about today's hip hop? Do you think that maybe, you know, hip hop is so big and universal now that we can categorize it now? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, agreed. I mean, earlier, we had to get rid of that stigma of, you know, not respecting the next generation of hip hop artists. You know what I mean? That's something that we definitely had to get rid of, because now hip hop is bigger than, you know, those little, you know, little rules and the little idiosyncrasies that you had, and you know, like, this is just ours and it belongs to us, and it's bigger than that. Hip hop is bigger than that now, and this generation is just interpreting hip hop in their own way. There was a gap between those lessons that get handed down from generation to generation. I think that was during the crack generation that we got a little, you know, we got a piece missing. You know what I mean? Out of those lessons. So after that block, people start making up their minds and thinking for themselves, you know what I mean? Instead of going back to the generation prior to them. So I think that has a lot to do with the new generation's independence as far as their music, their own sound, and what they like and what they want to do. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's a far stretch from where we started, but look at hip hop itself. Hip hop itself is the biggest genre of music in the world now. Absolutely. And that encompasses so many different things. So to discount what's going on now, I think it does a disservice to hip hop and to the artists that's out right now.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's why I created the platform, Pass the Torch, because I feel like the younger generation can learn from our mistakes, and we can learn from the younger generation. Like this technology age, they know how to navigate through here, but we can learn from them. And if we could just respect each other, that's the biggest word. If we could just respect each other, I think we could live in harmony, man. You know what I mean? Agreed.
So we've been too long with this stigma. Old school niggas is bitter and they mad, and angry at everybody, and there is a level of resentment, or I guess bitterness among, you know what I mean, the first school of hip hop. But I don't think that's prevalent among everybody. I think that people who are angry or mad for whatever reason, a lot of them have every right to be. You know what I mean? The culture's been circumvented, you know, to a large degree, and they've been left out of it. But for the most part, that's not the general consensus out of everybody from the old school. So that, you know, that's a stigma that we need to try to get rid of, thinking that we don't have regard or respect for the next generation of artists, especially hip hop artists. We got to big up all our culture, you know what I mean, from the OGs to the young G's, you know what I mean, and encourage them and let them know we got their back.
Most definitely, I agree 1,000%. Now, bringing it up to speed, Caz, let the people know what's going on with the Grandmaster Caz, what you got going on today, and you know, just let them know, man, what you got popping now, man.
Well, pretty much, man, Mikey, my philosophy has always been, you know, just to plant seeds. Keep planting seeds. You know what I mean? So everything I do, I take it, all right, this is a seed. And then I water it, and then I keep it moving. And then I go to the next place and I plant another seed. And then I plant some seeds over there and I plant some over there. So when things start happening, it's not something like it's, oh, wow, all of a sudden this and that. No, these are seeds that I planted. Starting to grow, you know, that the harvest is coming in now. So a lot of these different things that I've done are coming to fruition. right now, and they all seem to be happening at one time, which is a good thing right now. For one, I'm on the radio. I'm finally on the radio, Rock the Bells Radio with my girl Sha Rock, every day, Monday through Friday, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And that's a blessing. I've always said I got a voice for radio. I got a personality for radio. And so that finally came to fruition as well. This NFT thing that they got going on now, the new crazes, the new that's NFTs,
absolutely.
Which is digital artwork, you know what I mean? That's, and cryptocurrency is involved and in this all.
Got to get those e-wallets and all that.
Exactly. So Russell Simmons and a company called Tokal created this Masterminds of Hip Hop thing. I think Snoop is down with it as well. And their first offering was like the OGs, the Masterminds of Hip Hop, DJ Hollywood, Russell himself, Eddie Chiba, Sha Rock, myself, Dougie Fresh, Kane, people like that who contributed to the early days of hip hop. And I'm sure there'll be hundreds of them after this. But the first offering was us, and that was a good look. Of course, I stay working in the community. I work with a group called the Windows of Hip Hop. Me and Grandmaster Melly Mel work with the Windows of Hip Hop Consortium, and we basically adopted a school in the Bronx, CS55, and we implemented a thing to put a recording studio inside that school, and to have a functioning studio, dance studio, and all that in there, and teach a curriculum, an academic curriculum, but based on hip hop. And so salute to Principal Luis Torres, who has really adopted us, into the school, and to Councilwoman Vanessa Gibson, who's going to be our next borough president here in the Bronx, has also championed that cause and lent a lot of money to us, funding that particular thing. So that's big for me as well. You know what I mean? Always, connecting with the community, doing things with kids is a constant in my life. I got this 50 OGs project, you know what I mean? You know about it, you know what I mean?
You already.
I hit you up for it.
Absolutely, man.
I was inspired by DJ K Slay, big up to K Slay, for his Rolling 50 Deep concept.
Right.
And he did the Rolling 110 Deep. And now it's rolling 200 deep.
I'm there with y'all, Caz. I'm on that too. Yeah.
So I mean, it's amazing. But when the first 50 came out, Johnny Wah from Harlem, Rayvon.
Yeah, from Mag 7. Yeah, absolutely.
Johnny Wah gave me a call congratulating me on my appearance on the track. He was like, yo, you did your thing. You and Mel, y'all niggas shined on that thing. He was like, you know what though? He said, you need to do one of them shits for us. And when he said us, I knew exactly, what he meant. He meant us. He meant us, the niggas ain't really calling for shit like that. Every now and then I get to peek over the fence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like people like, I ain't over. I'm not on that side. I'm still us.
That's right.
I'm still us. I just get to peek over the fence every now and then. You know what I mean? I got folks and shit like that. But I mean, as soon as he said it, I was like, that's a no-brainer. Definitely. So instead of calling K Slay and saying, yo, Slay, stop what you're doing over there, man, and come do this OG, which he might have done, you know what I mean? I just decided to take it upon myself. I got a beat. I start calling up all my OGs, and I'm at 49. I'm at 49. We need one more person, to finish this 50 OG track. And like I said, salute to K Slay. He gave me the impetus to do it. And Johnny Wah gave me yo, man, you need to do this, man, for us. So K called me the other day. He was like, yo, I heard you doing this shit, man. And I said, I told you I got a surprise for you. He said, yo, put that shit out. Put that shit out now. You know what I mean? So right. He really put a battery in my back to really get this project done and finished. And so that's what I'm going to do. So you can look forward to the 50 OG MCs. You know what I mean? I got to get the video shot. You know what I mean? And hopefully we get this in the can, before October's out. Hopefully, you know what I mean? But
right.
It's definitely something I did for my brothers. You know what I mean? My brothers and sisters in hip hop that, like I said, maybe don't get to peek over the fence. You know what I mean? We gonna make our own motherfucking backyard here.
Facts. So Caz, give the ladies and gentlemen your social media contacts so they could stay in touch with you, follow you, and stay up to date on everything you got going on.
Well, over the pandemic, I had time to get real creative, you know what I mean? So I try to max out my social media as best as I could, especially Instagram, which is like really the mainstream. We know Twitter is big, but Twitter's for people that just want to talk shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you want to send pictures and videos and stuff like that. Instagram is your move. So I've been very, very active on Instagram. My tagline or my name on Instagram is The Real Grandmaster Caz. If you want to know any information about me, pretty much that's your go-to place. Of course, I have a website as well, www.grandmastercaz.com. I'm on Facebook, Caz Brown on Facebook, and on Twitter, Grandmaster Caz. So if you can't get me at none of them, then you fucked up.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Come to Soundview. Just tell anybody, yo, I'm looking for Caz, and they're gonna point you to my bill.
But you know what? In this world that we in right now, man, they could probably come to one of your park jams on Oculus, man.
Oh, believe that. Oh, I forgot.
I've been there.
Thank you for bringing that up. All right, because the hip hop and VR nightlife app is coming. My man Fokeezy is over in Germany, and he's working with developers and stuff. So whereas we had to use Altspace as a platform, we're creating our own platform.
Dope.
Fokeezy is out there creating our own Altspace. Okay, and it's going to be revolutionary. So I'm definitely with him on that. You can go to hiphopinvr.com and to check out the progress to see where we at on that. And thanks for bringing that up, Mikey.
Yo, facts, man. Yo, Caz, I want to thank you for coming to the show, and much more success on everything you got going on, man, with Rock the Bells and everything, man. Since you planted all of the seeds, that garden is almost here, man. And we all rooting for you, man. So again, salute. You know, my story, it's never going to change. It's going to stay the same for another 50 years. I
appreciate you for that, Mikey. I appreciate you for that, because the people that don't know me, directly or whatever, I live through stories of people who I inspired. And when you put it out there like that all the time, it does nothing but just give me, more notoriety. It brings more attention to me and who I am, makes people want to look me up if they don't know me. Like Mikey said, this nigga inspired him. And that's how I stay alive out here. Not only just performing and doing what I do personally, but through people like you, Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, Will Smith, all the people who big me up when people talk about them. So through y'all, I live and I breathe. So I appreciate y'all.
Yo, much love, Caz, and thanks again, man. Ladies and gentlemen, you have just witnessed the Grandmaster Caz.
Yeah, there you have it. You heard it from the horse's mouth. The grandest of them all, even your mama fall for, the Grandmaster Caz of the legendary Cold Crush Brothers. Make sure y'all follow that brother on Instagram at The Real Grandmaster Caz. Make sure y'all tune in to Rock the Bells Radio, where Grandmaster Caz and Shy Rock, they have their show called That's the Joint. It's a dope show, you know what I mean? Mondays through Fridays, it's definitely a dope show. And once again, thank you for joining another episode of The Real Mikey D History. That's history as in his story. If you want to donate, the Cash App is right there. If you want us to, promote your product, your company, your brand, just shoot us an email at passthetorch20@gmail.com. Myself, Calcutta, Precalcy, John Trace, one of us to get back to you, all right? Once again, thank you for joining The Real Mikey D History. That's his story. And stay tuned for more. We got a lot of exciting guests that will be joining the show. And also, you'll be seeing us move up. Right now, we doing it here. We comfortable, but we not content. You know what I mean? Comfortable is good, but we not content. Constant elevation is what we all about. So we gonna let y'all see us grow with us, with the new equipment and, new location, whatever the case may be. And it's about to get real crazy. So until next time, y'all, we out of here.